Hey everybody, Mr. Malloy here. In this video for Black Lives Matter Week, we get to learn about a local legend named Tion Torrance, also known as Bukue. For those of you who don't know, I have always loved skateboarding, hip-hop music, and street art. Tion has made a career out of his passions for these very same things. He was always a hero of mine when I was growing up, and I'm excited for us to learn more about his journey. Hopefully this video will help enrich our understanding of the 13 principles of the Black Lives Matter movement. Enjoy the video.
Right here. Hey, we was fresh in the summer, now we fly in the fall. Mastermind expands as we rise, stand tall. Small fish, big paw, make moves. Move on. Director of the vibe, we live new.
Yeah,
What up, man?
what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Mr. Malloy here with Tion Torrance, also known as Bukue. And so you're a man of many talents. You're passionate about a lot of things. You do them at a very high level. Do you mind just telling the kids some of these passions or all of the passions that you have?
Yeah. Well, my first passion growing up from the age of 11 was skateboarding.
You know you should have been trying to acquire knowledge, cause now cottage cheese is the structure of your story, cause or does it seem that living unconscious is really like a dream?
And then I got into the art of lettering. Which is graffiti art, using words as your primary means of creating artistic expression. Then got into, always been a fan of hip hop music, so I got into my own personal rapping.
Time has been invested. From 91, it was destined for me to put it down. Over my tag, there's a crown. King in my scheme, reclaiming my throne. In memory of dream, I let it be known. I rep the hometown, Oaktown, keep it live, 5 and dime to the way back since the 415.
And DJing and producing. And later into bowling.
Come on, Tion.
Oh! 300, baby.
And, just on and on. I just try to keep finding things that bring me joy.
When someone asks you, so what do you do? What do you do for a living? What's an answer that you give?
One of the answers I give is I'm a professional big kid. And what that means is I've taken the things that I grew up loving to do and formulating them into a career that allows me to be in that element of the things that I love the most. Instead of only focusing on what we want to do, we should start with how do we want to feel? Like when we think of our career, how do we want to feel? We don't have to be one thing. The question that I try to ask myself and try to pose when I'm helping others and youth is not what do you want to be or not who you are. It's what are the things you want to become? What are the things you like to do? And all of a sudden, by changing that one question from a singular to a plural, all of a sudden they're like, well, I like basketball, but I like to dance too, and I like math, and I like to exercise, and I like to play video games. And all of a sudden there's this whole range of things that we like to do. And all of those can formulate through a lifetime, many different careers and many pathways to create the life that is joyful, that is sustaining, that is meaningful.
When you were a kid, who do you feel like helped make you passionate or grow those passions? Who helped cultivate your genius?
My mom was the root core cultivator. Raised by my mom. I'm a single mom. I grew up in Berkeley. And she gave me so much room to be happy, to be sad, to cry, to be curious, to try this out, try that out. And she never really imposed a specific career on me.
In terms of your identity and your race, how did being Black, or how does being Black affect being part of these passions that you discussed?
Well, being Black, it's something that you're reminded of constantly, good and bad, right? Like you're constantly reminded of the talented Black people that are around you. Like my dad was in a Black Panther Party and in background singing for Marvin Gaye. And so he born and raised in Berkeley and lived that experience. And then growing up in Berkeley, like there's a melting pot. Like there were protests and stuff going on since the Vietnam War. There was a hotbed for the birth of the Black Panthers, Berkeley and Oakland. So activism was always around. You were always aware of where you were. People would always remind you that you're in the wrong place. You know, there are times when you may be in the Berkeley Hills. And if you looked like me at the time, maybe some people were kind of like, what are you doing up here? We're aware of the police. Sometimes we're looking at you as a suspect, or when you walk into a store. So just through that lens of those duality of having both, you know, the joy and the pride and the encouragement, and also the energy of shame and of doubt and of suspicion and of bad guy. But nonetheless, it can fuel you, it can lift you up, or it can break you down.
If you have a message to the kids today about cultivating genius, about following passions, if you wanted to add anything to what you already said.
Keep dreaming big. You know, dream big and dream in plural. And know that no matter what your challenge is, no matter how hard it may be, understand that joy and enthusiasm and fun are going to be big parts of your team to help you navigate all of the challenges that you're going to go through. And there's always going to be people that understand you. And there's always going to be teachers and parents and people that care about you. So remember that and have fun.
We aspire to end the war for sure, but this is not for the swift, but for the ones who endure.